from Channel for All. This is Get Curious, exploring everything under the sky and above it.
All right, let's dive in. We're about to take a journey to a place no human has ever been, a place that's right under our feet, the very center of the Earth. It's a world of unbelievable pressures and scorching temperatures. And you know what? What happens down there is what shapes literally everything we experience up here on the surface. But that brings up a huge question, right? If we can't actually go there, if we've never even come close, how in the world do we know what's thousands of kilometers beneath us? It's a massive geological puzzle, and the way scientists figured it out is, well, it's pretty brilliant. And just to put that in perspective for you, this is it. This is the deepest hole humanity has ever managed to drill, 12 kilometers. Now that sounds like a lot, but when you realize the Earth has a radius of over 6,000 kilometers, yeah, it's barely scratching the surface. So we can't just go and look. So how do we see the unseeable? Well, we listen. That's right, we listen to the echoes from the most powerful things that happen on our planet, earthquakes. Their vibrations travel right through the Earth. You see, every earthquake sends out these things called seismic waves. Think of it like a giant ultrasound for the entire planet. By tracking how these waves bend and bounce and change speed as they pass through different materials, scientists can actually map out what's inside the Earth. It's amazing, and they do it all from the surface. Okay, so using all that data from those planetary echoes, scientists have pieced together this incredible picture of our planet. And it turns out it's basically made of three main layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. So, let's start our descent. Our first stop is the crust. This is our home, it's the ground we walk on, it's everything we know. But in the grand scheme of things, it's an unbelievably thin, fragile layer. Honestly, think of it like the skin on an apple. That's about the right scale. And here's something really interesting. The crust isn't all one thing. There are actually two very different types. You've got the continental crust, it's thick, it's old, and it makes up our land masses. And then you've got the oceanic crust, which is way thinner, much younger, and a lot denser. Now, let's plunge deeper. Once we get past that thin crust, we enter the mantle. And this is the real giant of Earth's interior. It's a huge layer of super hot, dense rock that over millions and millions of years actually flows like an incredibly thick, slow-motion liquid. And when I say giant, I mean it. The mantle makes up a staggering 84% of our planet's total volume. The crust we were just talking about, it's just a tiny, tiny sliver compared to this. And this is where the real action is. The mantle is constantly churning, kind of like a pot of super thick, slow-boiling soup. This movement is called convection, and it is the engine that drives plate tectonics. It's literally what moves our continents, builds mountains, and causes earthquakes. All right, time for the final plunge. We're going to the core. We're now almost 3,000 kilometers down, and we are entering a world of iron and nickel under heat and pressure that is just almost impossible to comprehend. The core really shows you what density is all about. Look at this. It only takes up about 15% of the Earth's volume, but it accounts for nearly a third of its entire mass. That tells you just how unbelievably heavy and dense the stuff at the center of our planet is. First up, we hit the outer core. And get this, it's not solid rock. It is a swirling, churning ocean of liquid metal, hotter than you can possibly imagine. Those seismic waves we talked about, they change speed in a big way right here, which is exactly how we know it's a liquid. And all that swirling liquid iron creates a powerful dynamo effect. This is what generates Earth's magnetic field. And that field is absolutely crucial. It's like a giant invisible shield that protects all of us from dangerous radiation from the sun. Without it, our atmosphere would be gone. So it kind of makes sense that if it just keeps getting hotter as we go deeper, the very, very center must be liquid too, right? Well, this is where things get really weird. The crazy heat down there leads to a totally surprising paradox at the heart of our planet. We've finally reached it, the inner core. And believe it or not, it is a solid ball of iron and nickel, even though it's as hot as the surface of the sun. So how is that possible? Well, it all comes down to pressure. The weight of the entire planet is pushing down on it, creating a pressure so intense that it forces the atoms to lock together into a solid. So we've gone from the crust all the way down to the solid inner core. Now let's pull back and see how these different layers aren't just sitting there. They are working together as one big, dynamic, living system. Just look at the numbers from our journey. You can see the absolutely incredible ramp-up in temperature, pressure, and density. We went from a comfortable 20 degrees Celsius on the surface to a blistering 6,000 degrees at the center, under a pressure it's almost impossible to even wrap your head around. And these extreme conditions are what drive everything. That flow in the mantle moves the crust around. That movement causes earthquakes. Heat bubbling up from the core and mantle powers our volcanoes, and that dance in the liquid outer core gives us our magnetic shield. See? It is all one giant interconnected machine. So, you might be asking, okay, that's cool, but why does it matter to me? It matters a lot. Understanding this hidden structure is absolutely essential. It helps us predict natural disasters, it helps us find critical resources, and it helps us understand the complex systems that keep our planet and us alive. If there's one big thing to take away from our entire journey, it's this. We live on a world that is anything but a static, solid rock. It's a vibrant, breathing, constantly changing planet, and it's all driven by that immense heat and energy trapped deep, deep inside. And that leaves us with a pretty mind-bending final thought. We know the inner core is slowly getting bigger as the Earth cools, maybe about 1 millimeter every year. So what happens millions of years from now? What would a bigger, solid core and a smaller liquid outer core do to our magnetic field and to life on Earth itself? It's just a reminder that our planet's incredible story is still being written.